heart of the English countryside, nestled among verdant hills and sprawling gardens, stood Hawthorne Manor, a testament to the grandeur of the British gentry. Its elegant facade glimmered in the sunlight, hiding the secrets that brewed within. Lady Clara Hawthorne, the eldest daughter of Lady Eveline Hawthorne, stood by her window, gazing out at the manicured gardens that stretched endlessly before her. Clara was known for her beauty and kind spirit, yet her heart felt heavy with the weight of expectation imposed on her by her family. Unlike many of her peers, who revelled in preparing for extravagant balls and lavish suitors, Clara yearned for a love founded on genuine connection. "Clara, dear," called her mother from downstairs, her tone shrill with urgency. "You must help your sister choose a gown for Lord Arthur's visit." Clara sighed, knowing her mother's intentions were noble, but all she could think of was her childhood friend and secret love, Thomas Blake, who had promised to return to Hawthorne after years away. Yet her loyalties to her family, especially her sister Beatrice, pulled her in different directions. Lady Beatrice Hawthorne, the ambitious younger sister, entered the room with a dramatic flourish. Unlike Clara, Beatrice thrived in the realm of society. She wore vibrant colours and embroidered silks, embodying a spirit eager to catch the attention of suitors. Though she admired Clara, a flicker of jealousy often darkened her gaze. "I quite fancy the crimson gown," Beatrice said, holding up a robe adorned with lace. "It will make me the talk of the ball and catch Lord Arthur's eye." "Perhaps the blue one would suit you better," Clara suggested gently. "It brings out your eyes in a way that crimson cannot." Beatrice rolled her eyes, brushing off Clara's words. "Oh, Clara, always so demure. You should be more daring. Besides, we both know Lord Arthur's attention will be on whoever dazzles him most. I won't be overshadowed again." While Clara smiled knowingly, her heart sank. The rivalry stood between them like a chasm, yet she was determined to stay true to herself. The day had finally arrived for Lord Arthur Pembroke to visit Hawthorne Manor. Clara's heart raced with a blend of excitement and trepidation. She prepared herself, choosing a soft pastel gown that reflected her true nature, subtle yet shimmering. When Arthur arrived, he was greeted with enthusiastic applause from the family, and both sisters stood before him, eager to make their impressions. Lord Arthur was every bit the charming gentleman, with a striking presence and kindness that made him beloved by all. "Ah, Lady Clara," he exclaimed, his blue eyes sparkling with admiration. "Have you grown even more radiant since last I saw you?" Beatrice's heart sank as Clara blushed, their bond strained already. Stepping forward, she attempted to capture the evening. "Lord Arthur," she purred, "I hope you find our home to your liking. Shall we take a stroll in the gardens later?" As they walked through the manicured hedges, Clara found herself wandering deeper into her thoughts about Thomas. Her heart ached for his presence, especially as she witnessed the easy banter between Arthur and Beatrice. Yet, deep down, she recognised that her feelings for Thomas ran far deeper than surrounding pleasantries. The night of the grand ball was upon them, an event that promised to be the highlight of the season. Elaborate decorations adorned the Hawthorne ballroom, with candles flickering from crystal chandeliers, creating a fairy tale atmosphere. As the music played, guests danced elegantly, their laughter and chatter blending in joyous celebration. Clara felt a flurry of nerves wash over her, standing beside her sister as they waited for Lord Arthur to arrive once more. When Arthur entered, the room fell silent. He radiated charm and confidence. Clara's heart raced as the two exchanged warm pleasantries. As the evening unfolded, it became clear that Beatrice was determined to outshine Clara, stepping in to engage Arthur in conversations filled with flirtation. "Tell me more about your travels, Arthur," Beatrice cooed, touching his arm lightly. "I wish to hear all about the exotic places you have seen." Clara felt the pang of resentment, but she remained composed, knowing Beatrice's ambition often had no bounds. As the night grew older, her longing for Thomas deepened, making her heart ache for something more than superficial admiration. The following days were filled with whispers throughout the gentry circles. As rumours began circulating about Clara's affections, a clandestine meeting with Thomas, Beatrice seized the opportunity to cast doubt on her sister's reputation. "Have you heard Lady Clara has been seen speaking alone with Mr. Blake?" Beatrice whispered to a group of young aristocrats at a gathering. "Such impropriety at our level is gravely concerning." As Clara entered the room, overhearing faint echoes of judgment, her heart sank. She knew her sister's jealousy would lead her down a dangerous path. Later that evening, Clara took a solitary stroll in the gardens, seeking comfort under the moonlight. As she closed her eyes, she felt the presence of Thomas. "Thomas!" she exclaimed, opening her eyes to find him leaning against a tree, his boyish smile igniting warmth within her. "I had to see you, Clara," he said earnestly. "I missed you more than I can say. But I hear of troublesome rumours. I want you to be safe." Clara's heart raced at his concern. "My sister. She is envious of what we share." "Then let us not speak of it. Let us enjoy this moment," Thomas replied, their fingers brushing against each other's. Days turned into weeks, and Clara and Thomas continued to meet secretly in the gardens, their connection deepening with each stolen moment. Under the stars, they shared dreams and ambitions, revealing layers of their pasts that connected them even more profoundly. "I wish I could leave all this behind," Clara sighed one night, gazing up at the stars as they sat on a bench under the blooming magnolia tree. "But my family expects me to marry a man of stature, like Lord Arthur." Thomas turned to her, his eyes filled with longing. "I've always believed love could conquer all boundaries. What good is a title without a heart?" But as they shared whispers of sweetness, darkness loomed in the shadows. Beatrice, driven by jealousy, had begun plotting her next move, ready to unleash a campaign of deception against her sister to secure her position. The grand annual soirée was at hand, the entire gentry society buzzing with anticipation. Amidst the festivities, Lady Beatrice decided it was time to unveil her master plan. Armed with half-truths and whispered insinuations, she approached Lord Arthur with a nervous smile. "Arthur, dear," she said, sweetly, "have you heard the whispers? They say Lady Clara has been seen with Mr. Blake far too often for a mere friendship." Arthur's eyes darkened with concern as he regarded Beatrice. "A scandal can ruin her, especially during these times of expectations." Beatrice feigned innocence, masking her glee. "I would hate for Lady Clara to tarnish the Hawthorne name." As the rumours swirled, Clara, oblivious to her sister's machinations, stepped out to dance with Arthur in the grand ballroom. Laughter and music filled the air, but she sensed the shift in Arthur's demeanour. "Clara," Arthur murmured cautiously, "might you have something to explain?" In that moment, her heart dropped. What had Beatrice done? "Arthur, I assure you my friendship with Thomas is innocent." But the damage was already done. As the enchanted evening turned bleak, Clara could see the betrayal in Arthur's eyes. In the days that followed, Clara's world shattered. The weight of Beatrice's deceit hung heavy like a storm cloud over Hawthorne Manor. Clara confronted her sister one night in the dimly lit sitting room, shadows flickering against the walls. "Why would you do this, Beatrice?" Clara's voice trembled with a mix of hurt and fury. "Are you that desperate to outshine me?" Beatrice met her gaze defiantly, her voice dripping with ambition. "You have always been the favourite, a paragon of virtue. While you wallow in your innocence, I'm destined for greatness." "What greatness comes from deceit? We are sisters," Clara retorted, her heart breaking at the chasm between them. "Perhaps I will be a sister to a title," Beatrice snarled, her ambition blinding her to the love they once shared. "You're too naive to realise what's at stake." With tears streaming, Clara stormed out into the moonlit night, feeling utterly lost. Clara found solace in Thomas's arms, and together they conspired to expose Beatrice. "We must reveal her lies before Arthur falls completely for her schemes," Clara declared one evening in the garden. Thomas nodded, his gaze fierce with determination. "Then we'll gather evidence of her manipulation and prove your innocence." The following days were filled with tension and whispered conversations. Clara had gained the courage to confront her sister, feeling empowered by love and support. Beatrice, caught in her web of lies, sensed things slipping from her grasp and became more ruthless. On the night before the grand ball, as guests trickled in, Clara and Thomas prepared to confront Beatrice publicly. The grand ballroom shimmered with opulence, the atmosphere pulsed with anticipation. Couples twirled, laughter echoed, and the ambiance glowed with the light of 1,000 candles. As Clara took her place beside Thomas, the couples danced gracefully around them. It was time to reveal Beatrice's true nature. "Ladies and gentlemen," Clara announced as she stepped onto a small platform, the crowd quieting to listen. "It is with a heavy heart that I confront a matter of great importance." Whispers erupted through the crowd. "What is she speaking of?" "My sister Beatrice has been spreading lies about my integrity." Clara's voice quivered, but held firm. "She concocted deceptions to ruin my reputation simply to elevate her own desires." Beatrice gasped, her face blanched pallid. "This is preposterous. You tarnish our family's name." "And yet my name has already been tarnished by your schemes," Clara shot back, emboldened by the presence of Thomas by her side. The whispers turned into murmurs of shock as the guests began to piece together the events leading up to this moment. In the aftermath of the ballroom revelation, the once grand atmosphere turned sombre. The Hawthorne family confronted Beatrice, demanding explanations as the haunting truth finally illuminated her motives. I only wanted more for myself," Beatrice faltered, tears filling her eyes. "I wanted to be admired, to be something in this life. You never understood." "Do you think ambition built on deceit can lead to happiness?" Lady Eveline scolded, her voice tinged with disappointment. As Clara watched her sister, she felt a pang of empathy. Though Beatrice had wronged her, she knew the longing for love and acceptance burned brightly within. Days passed, and as the fields bloomed with the first signs of spring, Clara approached her sister in the garden where flowers blossomed anew. "Beatrice," she began softly, "I don't want to lose you as a sister. I understand your desire to be seen. Yet you are blinded by your own innocence," Beatrice interrupted, her tone calmer. "I wanted to make sure I was never overshadowed again." "You could never be overshadowed if you were true to yourself. Love doesn't require deceit. It needs honesty," Clara replied gently, her heart hopeful. As spring dawned over the Hawthorne estate, healing began. Arthur, understanding the truth, found a renewed respect for Clara. Their friendship blossomed into something warmer, and he approached Clara one afternoon amidst blooming wisteria. "Clara," he began hesitantly, "I was wrong to doubt you. The love you and Thomas share inspired me to seek something deeper than pleasantries." "Arthur, I wish you the best," Clara replied, her heart lightening as she saw potential for Arthur and Beatrice to reconcile, to find affinity rather than rivalry. As the season shifted, Beatrice slowly began to comprehend how her actions had estranged her from the very love she sought. In the weeks that followed, she found solace in the company of Arthur, and together they forged a friendship, a bond strengthened through understanding. Clara, alongside Thomas, embraced their romance, cherishing moments filled with laughter, shared dreams, and unwavering support. In finally learning to appreciate one another and overcoming their past, Clara, Beatrice, and Arthur forged new paths toward futures rooted in honesty and authenticity. The dawn of their lives awaited the bonds of sisterhood and love, rebuilding amidst the lush gardens of Hawthorne Manor, where new beginnings bloomed eternally.